Well, here I am again, hiking. Now this time I'm going to have a little bit of a narrative. This is the Robert Frost Trail, as seen by the markings, the orange markings on the trees. I'm on top of Bull Hill, and I decided to do a narrative on the part way down. My hands are crispy cold. Well, not crispy cold. They've kind of been cold all day, which makes me think I don't have enough protein or fat in my diet right now, which sounds about right. And going to the doctor's the other day, I weighed in at 131 pounds, which is the lightest I've been for a while, but it's consistent anyway. The last two times they measured me, I was around the same. So that's good to know. I love consistency. There's a look at the Pioneer Valley. Looking northwest, west-northwest, something along those lines. The sun is setting to the right slowly but surely. It's dark, it's been snowy, moisture content in the air, a little more so, cloudy, and it's cold. It's biting cold right now because the leaves are mostly down and there's a dampish wind that's pretty constant with gusts every once in a while that kind of take the stuffing out of my sails. And recognizing that I'm not quite as comfortable as I would like to be in my skin, which has many implications. Mostly that I need to put on a little bit more fat. Lovely. Just what you wanted to talk about or hear about. The hiking guide, putting on fat for the winter. I have to be like a bear. So I look at my environment and I think, what in the environment would make me feel a little more padded and taken care of? So starch is one of them. I tend to go after starch. And then I think, well, starch is a good carrier for other things. So soup, meat, nut butters, cheese, dairy. Sometimes I think I would like to have a vegan diet, but I'm not sure how I would get all of that except to be consuming a lot more nuts and oils. I'll look at that in the long run. And I think about consuming insects as well, but I'm not really keen on the flavor quite yet. Grubs would be good. I think grubs are kind of crunchy and sweet. Although I tried chewing on a grub the other day and it was hard to get the head of it and the little feet past my tongue. I guess if you can crunch it up and grind it up really fine before it hits the tongue, I don't know. That seems like it's impossible. And I'm not so sure that would work in my mind. But then the flavor, I've heard, depending on how cold they are or how warm they are or cooked or whatever, that they can be quite tasty, almost like scrambled egg, which doesn't appeal to me at all because I'm allergic to eggs. So there's that. Oh, anyway, time to switch hands. Whew, cold. Just having that hand exposed is icy. I mean, it'll probably take me a good half an hour to warm up from that if I don't get a good workout first. Okay, enough complaining from me. I actually love the cold. I would much prefer the extreme weather conditions in the Northeast. It seems to be able to prepare us for anything in some ways. We have extremely bleak winters at times with temperatures down sub-zero. We're talking down to 30 below. And last year we hit 37 degrees below zero at one point. And I thought, well, you know, after 20 degrees Fahrenheit above, everything else is kind of just like different levels of discomfort. I don't think about the cold anymore. It's just annoyingly challenging to be around that temperature and be hanging out in the temperature, particularly when it's windy. And these are numbers without wind chill. And I don't know what maybe a couple of them were wind chill numbers, but I remember at one point last year, a windstorm coming through when it was 28 degrees below zero, and the wind felt warm, but the wind chill, because it was a damp wind and cold temperature, made it like 143. Wait, does that sound accurate? 43 below? Oh, 43 below, not 143. I'm like, wait a second. that's way beyond our area. 43 below zero with the wind chill, or 47 below. I can't remember what the temperature was, but the gusts and so on. But it was a south wind. I can't remember, but it was moist. But anyway, it might have been the year before. I always wonder, like, what the next year is going to be like. Last year was mild in terms of snow, but the year before that was mild as well, and the year before that was mild. So the general trend has been milder winters and milder summers, or more extreme temperatures, I would say, but not anywhere out of the ordinary. I remember when I was young, there was 1 or 2 weeks in July and going into August that were 122 degrees Fahrenheit, and thinking, well, this is what summer is like. It's hot, and that's when you go swimming or you have a pool in the backyard or whatever it is. And I remember winters that were, 4 feet deep of snow, and sub-zero temperatures for a good 2 weeks. And February, everything went till February, and then snow melting in really in April, and having more storms in April. I remember many storms around my birthday. Well, I remember April really well, April 11th, and I remember snowstorms where we had a foot or so of snow in that time of April. And that's changed a little bit, but I don't know. I think that we're so used to extremes that they become kind of the norm in the Northeast, and the media has to hype us up for really dangerous situations so that we get really riled by it, because that's what mainstream media does. They work on a basis of attracting you to their news by creating something majestic that you can't get away from, weather-wise or whatever it is. Anyway, I digress. And I need to get my other hand back in my pocket, so put this away. Thank you for coming along for this hike. Thank you for listening to my monologue on life and how it pertains to our environment and the bigger picture. Have a great one. Cheers. Oh, look. I always see something. I don't know what these are. Let's see, are they? No, some kind of mushroom. It's got gills. It's cool. Cheers.